Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
So, after this amazing session on agentic AI, which we are also kind of delving our hands into, um, we bring to you something which is very relevant, very customer usable as of this point in time, which is currently being used by a lot of you, but also how we enable our banking partners to be able to now offer it to the large, customers at large. We are going to demonstrate one of our key products that we have launched recently. It is called consumer choice payments. Just before that, I'll give a very quick background on the organization for the ones that you don't know. We are a payment organization. We work with about 50 odd banks. Yeah, just move on. Yeah, we work about 50 odd banks. We have presence in now about 9 or 10 countries. We have offices across 6 cities in India and 3 cities internationally. We have about 1,800 odd people. We essentially are a payment service provider. We front end as well as back end the payment transaction as far as an acceptance transaction or an issuance transaction is concerned, which essentially means that maybe in a UPI transaction, we enable the merchant to accept a UPI transaction, and we enable a customer to be able to make that UPI transaction using one of their apps. Now we have bundled a lot of our offerings together into one particular app, and this is something that we are now offering to a few of our partner banks. This is the entire landscape that we work with. So this is our entire universe, so to say. We work with a lot of acquiring banks, we work with a lot of issuing banks, plus we work with some of the local as well as international networks to be able to enable this payment transaction and close this payment transaction. Let's move on to the app here. So this is the consumer choice payments app that we are talking about. Now, what it does is it brings in a lot of payment enablement as far as making the payment is concerned, or related products that we can offer in a consumer's hand to be able to make his life much more convenient. Now, just to give you an example, so maybe everybody uses GPay or a phone pay. So while those bit of functionalities are already present there, so you can make a QR payment, you can make a link-based payment, you can make a maybe a bill payment. All of that are already available. But apart from that, there are certain features which we've kind of tried to bundle in. One being all the transit functionalities that we can probably bring into one particular app. The second being we can enable the customer to have shopping options by enabling ONDC into this particular platform. We also have enabled a customer to be able to raise a query or a complaint should there be any transaction that he's not or she's not very certain of. We've also tried to enable all of the features that are currently available in terms of a host card emulation, where your card sits on the mobile phone and you tap the phone on some of the acceptance devices and you make the payment and you go ahead. One of the very interesting use cases, and this is something that probably Anil will talk about in detail, is I'm presenting a scenario to you. So you have a Metro card. As we all know, that Metro card essentially works on an offline payment, which essentially means that the card has to be loaded with that kind of money. And then when you tap that card on a metro station, that's when you go and enter the metro station. And as soon as you deboard a train and you want to move out, you have to tap that card again. And in the process, what happens is the amount or the money is getting debited from the offline wallet, which is sitting on the card. This is the entire NCMC card, National Common Mobility Card functionality. Now, a very essential feature of loading the card or loading the card with that particular amount which is already sitting on your online wallet is currently available by going to the kiosks or by going to the bill counter of the metro station. You essentially present some cash or give some payment, and the guy loads your card with that much amount, or you go to a kiosk and you load your card. Now consider a situation where you are traveling by a cab, you go into a metro station, there's a long queue in front of the kiosk, and you want to have your card loaded so that you can immediately take that 9-10 a.m. morning train, which goes to your office area. Now, what we have done is we've enabled a tap on your mobile itself, where you can, if the money is already sitting on your online wallet, you can tap that card on your phone, and you can have the entire balance loaded onto that particular card. This enables a lot of convenience for the customer of not going to that kiosk or to that bill counter to be able to have that card loaded so that the metro travel can take place. Now, what it also does is it kind of creates an ecosystem. So while we are building, this is probably one of the stepping stones on what NCMC can present to the customer. We are building a lot of other capabilities around this, and one of which could be where we can load the card without having to go to a bill counter or without having to go to a payment gateway to load that online wallet. We can tap the card and load the card with the tap of card as well. So a lot of functionalities sit around it. We are working on it. We will be very soon bringing to that. The entire idea is that we want to offer this as a bundled product to some of our banking partners, which essentially goes out to the customers and makes their, make their lives convenient. Over to you, Anil.
So, well, I'll explain this, what Ranjeet has just narrated, that imagine a situation that you are going to a metro. Can you please play that video? Yeah, imagine you are approaching a metro gate, and you have already run out of balance, and you tap the card on the metro gate, and what you realize is that please recharge your card, low balance, the access is denied. You will not be able to enter, and you will run helter-skelter to. So here is ISG introducing a consumer choice payments app with the NCMC feature specially, wherein you can do certain functionalities. Service creation is one. When you create the service, you will first, the provisioning happens, and you tap the card on the mobile phone, and the service is created. Once the service is created on an NCMC card, then you can use it for loading balance and using it at any NCMC outlet. So service is activated. Now you check the card balance. You click this button, you tap the card, it will show you that, the balance is less than the threshold. So what do? You cannot run helter-skelter looking for a kiosk to load balance on it. You don't have to do anything. There is a recharge feature. You first load the money in the online wallet, as Ranjeet said. You add, say, 200 rupees by entering the OTP. So the money in the online wallet, which is attached to a card, is loaded, and now simply update card balance. You click on update card balance and tap the card on the mobile phone. That balance which is written in the online wallet will be fetched and written on the card. Now you can, so now the top up amount is 200 rupees. So whatever was topped up, it is written over here. Now you can conveniently tap the card, your money will be deducted, the gate will open, and you can walk into the gate. So this power we have brought on the mobile app itself. There's a presentation, if you can please put up that presentation.
The next one. Yeah, the next one.
There's one more presentation after this. So this queuing up at the, while traveling in the cab itself at leisure, you can load the balance on the card. So what is the problem that we are trying to solve? Commuter, after adding money via online channels, has to perform balance. So the various banks have provided facility to update the balance, load the balance in the online wallet. But he was unable to, fetch that balance and write it on the card. This problem statement, and we had to run helter-skelter looking for a kiosk or a window, metro window. So this was the problem statement that we have tried to solve by bringing that power on an NFC-enabled Android mobile phone. That's the requirement. This SDK, so we have come out in the form of an SDK which can be integrated in any issuer app. So issuer app can be a prepaid card mobile app, or a credit card mobile app, or a mobile banking app, or a UPI PSP app, the transit app. So in any of these mobile apps, this SDK can be integrated and commuters can instantly load money. Now, these are the services that we provide as part of this SDK, service area creation. So the new cards that are now getting personalized, they have the service area already created on them. But there are still older cards, older than 6 months, who are NCMC enabled, but they don't have the service area created on those cards. So those service areas can be created by tapping on our NCMC SDK. Online wallet recharge, though it's not a part of the SDK, but this is one feature so that the customer doesn't have to go to the website and upload money. Balance inquiry, so that he can check the balance. If it is below the threshold, he can do the balance update. Now, to be able to offer this service to the various issuers, we have to undergo stringent security measures. So our hosts, so we are doing end-to-end journey right from SDK to our middleware to our switch. So that switch has to be, we have to undergo a host certification. There is an L2 certification of the SDK itself, so that it is delivering all the test cases that are required to be passed. L3 certification, when this SDK is integrated in any issuer app, that issuer app has to undergo a L3 certification. So that L3 certification is also done, and it supports local contactless regulation and limits, whatever. So for example, there's a limit that the NCMC card cannot have more than 2,000 rupees at a time. So all those limits have been implemented. Now these are small flows we have tried to narrate. So in the issuer app, the SDK will be integrated, ISG tap SDK, tap and pay SDK. When the customer taps clicks the button of balance inquiry on the issuer app, it will invoke our SDK and it will prompt you to tap the card. And that's when our SDK will respond back, will give you a call back that this much is the balance, which the issuer app will then display. The second is balance update, and this is where we are doing a lot of heavy lifting at the back end. It's not just the SDK, which is a small thing, but there's a heavy lifting done. So in the issuer app, the SDK will be integrated. When you tap click the button balance update on the issuer app, our SDK will get invoked. And the transaction, so there are two taps in the balance update. In the first tap, the card data is read and it is sent through the middleware. So our middleware is there at the back end. Through the middleware, it will go to the acquiring switch where we have configured the acquiring ID of the relevant acquiring bank. And from there, it will go to the NPCI, and NPCI will send that, so it will recognize the BIN from the card, which is the issuing bank. So it will route the transaction to the issuing bank. Issuing bank will fetch the account balance, whatever is the balance. There are some IAD and ARC values. So those are also responded back by the issuing auth host to the NPCI, and from NPCI to our acquiring switch, from the acquiring switch to the tap and pay middleware, from tap and pay middleware to the SDK, and SDK will prompt you to do a second tap. And when you do a second tap, the balance will be, whichever is fetched from the authorization host, will be written on the card. And this balance then you can carry, and you can use it at any. So as of now, it is the metro use case, but subsequently it is going to be all the parking, the roadways. They are installing this kind of feature where you can use this NCMC card. Similar is the flow for the service creation as well. So if there are any questions or queries, we can take those questions.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks. We can take the questions if there are any offline.
Thank you so much, both of you. We would love to felicitate you by presenting a memento. Requesting Vikrant sir to kindly do the honors for us.